Working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away. Drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men north of Richmond. I wish politicians would look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men north of Richmond. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Welcome back to the Coke 300 at Charlotte Motor Speedway Chase, race 4 of 10. With a little bit of a delay, we are back and better than ever. We had to set up a new lobby just to recap what was going on. And then from there, try to get everybody back in the lobby. So just taking you through a quick recap. Tonight's race, Coke 300, August 18th. Next week on the 25th, we have Darlington Raceway for the Southern 250. September 8th will be Talladega Superspeedway for the Allison Brothers Tribute. And looking about a half a month out, looks like Road America for the Road Soda 100. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome back to the Coke 300. We're going to restart and get going. We'll see how many people have joined back up. Hopefully enough to get this race going. Looks like we have plenty to go for 200 laps. So a little bit of a delay in our start, but we are here and we are ready to go. Again, quick points overview. I'm not going to bash that down your throat anymore. Just take a quick peek. If your favorite driver is sitting there in the chase. Bringing in for the quick reset, Justin Vanderbilt, Trey Holmes going to be in row 1. Elliott Drummond, Perrin Huggins, row 2. Sean Anderson, Cody Johnson, row 3. Jonathan and Militia, Jeremy Beal, row 4. Matt Albert, Mike DeWalt, row 5. Brandon Meyer and John Cutlip, row 6. Tyler Curley and Josh Cole, row 7. Colby Hogan and Nate Fuller, row 8. John Howard and Keaton Sawyers, row 9. And Lucas Reed and Lucas Santos in row 10. Tyler Steiner and Andrew Allen in row 11. Christopher Pugliese and Chris Parkman, row 12, and Aiden Lunn and Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., row 13. So we lost a few from the transition. That is definitely unfortunate, something we don't like to see. But we're trying to get this party started again. I know Connor Rowe lost power. Trey Holmes didn't get back in time, it looks like. Colby Hogan not here. Maybe they'll start here towards the end. I don't know. Cody Johnson not here as well. So hopefully they got the hint and rejoined. And that is unfortunate. Again, if you're watching and rejoined the stream or had to rejoin, thank you. I do appreciate that. Because we were banging before. Hopefully we can get that kind of number back up. Again, first lap, Justin Vandermerel, basically Cody Johnson nearly took out the whole field, which resulted in a crazy caution at the start-finish line. And I believe that's what screwed iRacing up, because it was right on that initial start of the race. And crossing the finish line, most of those cars didn't even cross the start-finish line before the caution flag came out. So again, if you're hanging out, having a drink, I hope you are, because I certainly need one after the start we've had. But hopefully that is just the end. Justin Vandermerel taking us down for the green flag in the beginning of the Coke 300 officially. Let's get it on. 26 cars.
Green, green, green.
And sweet, sweet love being had. Trey Holmes, Cody Johnson, Colby Hogan, I think are starting off of pit road, it looks like. But they're going to get going. Vandermerel, Drummond, and Huggins. Side by sides, get some blimp cam action as we work our way through the field. But most importantly, who's going to lead that first lap? Good start this time. In and out of the tri-oval. Vandermerel will lead the first lap, but Huggins to the inside. And you can run the high line here. Can run the low line with these cars. Both lanes are definitely good to use, have their pros and cons. Field has spread out a little bit quickly, and that couldn't have been coming at a better time. Battle for the lead it is. Elliott Drummond, Perrin Huggins, Justin Vandermerel, and Jeremy Beal in the 47. Somebody scraped the wall. You could hear it. Drummond out in front. Shocker. Miller High Life Light and that chrome and blue Ford Mustang beautiful deuce on a beautiful Friday night. Again, up to 230 followers. Couldn't be more excited for the Gears Cup Series growing at a rapid pace. Sean Anderson's there in fifth, being challenged by Mike DeWalt to the inside. Oh, they almost touched there in the trial. Well, again, you got to be careful of that dreaded netcode. Netcode will do you in if you are not weary of that. Good racing so far. Take a look around the fields. Everybody kind of spread out again. First caution or stage ending will be lap 25. So far, so good. Cautiously makes me want to do a loose and loud to start the race. Let's do it. Here we go. Bringing you back in now from the loose and loud, lap 12 of 200. Elliot Drummond is currently your leader. Perrin Huggins, Justin Vanderwell, Jeremy Beal, and Mike DeWalt, your top 5 with Sean Anderson, John Cutlip, Jonathan Militia, Tyler Curley, and Matt Albert rounding out your top 10. Some good action here, passing here for 6th place between Cutlip and Anderson. Ooh, crawling up right around that back bumper is the 28 car. Let's ride around in the old cockpit. John Cutlip you're riding around with from Fairfax, Virginia in that 28 Mobile 1 Ford Mustang. Makes that pass on Anderson look easy. Something happened to Brandon Meyer. Not sure what that was. Maybe a disconnect. But that definitely got my attention. Here's the man, 8 points out of first place from Peoria, Illinois. Mike DeWalt in that Coca-Cola 20 Toyota Camry with that purple banner indicating that he is in the chase. Lucas Santos' personal pick to win. And it looks like some people, because of how quickly we had to act, unfortunately didn't get in on time, which is unfortunate because we had to act fast to get things back to racing. Elliot Drummond, Perrin Huggins, Justin Vanderwell, Mike DeWalt, and Jeremy Beal, your top 5. A lot of action all over the track right now. Yeah, like this battle right here between last year's champion Keaton Sawyers and Nathan Fuller. This is hot and heavy, side by side between the 91 and the 24. As we are less than 10 laps to go from the conclusion of stage 1. I do like the 91 of Keaton Sawyers. I gotta say, it definitely suits him. Then Operation Motorsport 24, Nathan Fuller making that pass for 12th look a little too easy. Chris Parkman in the monster Chevy Camaro right there. As Sawyer's going back to the inside. Good battle here. While Parkman moves in on the fun. Lucas Santos out there riding around in 11th. Got Militia there working on Matt Albert for 9th. Right in front of them is Tyler Curley of the 42. Looks like his internet connection is solid tonight. Perrin Huggins in second. Elliot Drummond, your leader in that 2 car, and he's got about almost a second gap on Perrin Huggins. Mike DeWalt has managed to move himself into 3rd in the closing laps of the stage here, of stage 1. Perrin Huggins and Mike DeWalt, the top 2 in the Cup Series right now. Stage points ever so important. their banners on their car. Looks hot. We've spoken a lot to Elliott Drummond here tonight, or in the past few weeks. We might be talking to him after stage 1. A guy who has dominated, just simply crushing the competition. The guy is going to be a force to be reckoned with here next year in 2024. Pulling up my information frantically. He has 2 wins on the season with 7 stage wins. Could he make it magical number 8? Find out in just a moment. We are going to be 1 lap away here next time by. Again, a 1.3 second lead on the rest of the field. Mike DeWalt trying to chase him down as he passes Barron Huggins for second. Let's look at this. Final lap for stage 1. Look at this for 4th and 5th here. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Huggins back to the inside, on the outside, getting kind of scrubbed out. Elliott Drummond just coasting like it's a Sunday afternoon drive, as he is going to be the winner of stage 1.
Yellow flag is out.
Anything crazy, but yeah, he is your stage 1 winner, Elliott Drummond. On the line, I have the Miller High Life Light stage 1 winner, number 2 Ford Mustang, Elliott Drummond. Elliott, thank you so much for joining us quickly as you're getting back around to pace. Crazy first part of the race here on the parade lap onto green flag with that crazy ass beginning. But the restart here, you have done nothing but dominate. Tell us a little bit about your night.
I mean, it was obviously a terrible start, but you know, I'm gonna be honest, clean air is kind of just king. So I kind of just need to keep it on this restart, and I think we'll be fine here. And obviously it's going to be a 5th lap run here, so it's going to be more about saving your tires and just pushing and managing. That's what I was doing there. But
absolutely,
overall, I'm trying to go from, that was my 3rd, for me, that was my 3rd year's stage 1 in a row because I didn't run Iowa. Yep. So I'm kind of looking for a back-to-back for me.
Well, I'm telling you right now, man, that has 8 stage victories on the year for you. So congratulations again. I am excited as hell to see you in 2024. Congratulations on your continued dominance, and keep going.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Elliott. And that was Elliott Drummond, number 2 Miller High Life Light Ford Mustang, as we're going to see these guys come down pit lane. See where they end up after that. Again, you are watching the Coke 300 live on twitch.tv. I am Tom Torrey, a.k.a. The Horse Boat. Happy to have you along with us. Next stage break is going to be at lap 75, with stage 3 being the completion of lap 125. Again, 4 stages tonight for the special race that it is. Coke 300, always legendary, patriotic, if you will. A lot of cool race schemes as we're going to just watch these guys peel off and get ready to go. Again, next stage break is going to be at lap 75, so it's going to be a 50-lap jaunt. Hopefully green flag racing all the way. And it looks like, let's see, Brandon Meyer with the sweet scheme in the Haviland 33. I like that a lot. Hopefully he'll have that for the Allison Brothers tribute, because that is a beautiful car. One of my favorite cars growing up from the 90s. Again, if you notice the purple banner on their cars, that means they are playoff chase eligible, as it were. We're getting set to go back green flag racing. Andrew Allen in 15th, 7th position from where he began, having a good debut. But your leader right now is going to be Sean Anderson. Mr. Anderson in the OceanGateBuildSubmarines.com Ford Mustang, telling you to build a sub, just not out of carbon fiber. I don't know if that joke was too soon for some of folks, but hey, I'm living on the edge tonight. Again, recruitment race to follow after this bad boy is in the books. Hopefully we'll see you there. Again, some unfortunate casualties tonight, where our first stream went awry. Took out half the field. And about made me get up and walk away. But I digress. That was in a brief state of emotion. Brandon Meyer's going to get the wave around. We're going to grid up with Sean Anderson and Elliot Drummond, row 1, Mike with DeWalt, John Cutler, row 2, Jeremy Beal, Tyler Curley, row 3, Matt Albert, Justin Van Roel, both Canadians in row 4, and Chris Parkman and Parent Huggins rounding out your top 10. Again, next caution is, or next stage scheduled caution is lap 75. But until then, I'm hoping for some green flag racing for the Coke 300. 200 laps in total, chase race 4 of 10. Happy to have you along for the ride. Lots and lots of Fords up in front, with some Chevys and a dash of Yodas. We are heading into the evening. Hopefully finish this bad boy under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get next week's the Southern 250 at Darlington. It's going to be a wild one. Not sure who picked that race, but we're doing it. All right, pace car is off. Anderson leading us down. Restart zone it is.
Green, green, green.
And he is going to feed his need for speed, and we are off and running. Like a herd of turtles, we are off. Sean Anderson, Elliot Drummond, Mike DeWalt, John Cutler, Jeremy Deal in your top 5, and Tyler Curley, Matt Albert, Chris Parkman, Justin Vanderwerel, and Perrin Huggins rounding out your top 10. Banging off the wall, as you can hear a couple of those drivers do. Live on the wild side, live on the edge. Drummond is not going to lead this first lap. Yes, he is coming across the finish line. Yes, he will. And back up in front is the 2 car. Down to the inside goes Anderson. DeWalt making it through. Whoa, looks like we got some action in the back. Huggins in the wall, but everybody able to keep it straight. That was crazy. We saw that live. Drummond, Cutlip, and Anderson with DeWalt and Beal, your top 5. Cutler, DeWalt, Beal and Curley, your top 5 with Anderson, Vandermeer, Albert, Sawyers, and Santos. Take a look at the battle here between John Howard and Trey Holmes. Steiner in that fight as well. Howard able to clear Holmes. Back out to single file. And the race is definitely up front here. Curley passes Beal for 4th. Beal rocking that Kroger cheese at 47. Looking fantastic. Two Fords, a Yoda, and 2 Chevys watching in your top 5. Looks like a nice pace from the top 5. Sean Anderson there, conserving tire, conserving fuel. He's hanging on to that draft. I believe Sean Anderson to be a dark horse this evening. Again, almost 40 laps of 200 in the books. Thank you for hanging out with me if you still are. Rough start, but it has been a phenomenal racing since. Reed and Santos battle the Lucases. Can't seem to get away from each other or their name and similarity. One with a C, one with a K in Lucas. Lucas with a C is who we're watching, and behind him is Lucas with a K. Get over it. Battling for the top 10. We'll keep it right here. Lap traffic is in the way. John Howard right there as well with Tyler Steiner. Cole now splitting these two up. And that 5-hour energy 43. Again, if your mom tells you to go to bed, or your grandma maybe need to sweet talk them, stay up late because it's going to be a long one here tonight as we're 40 laps in of 200. I had to check my glasses to see if I read that right. That is true. Drummond, Cutler, DeWalt, Beal, and Curley, your top 5. With Anderson, Albert, Vandermeer, Sawyers, and Reed, your top 10. Everybody spread out a little bit, single file. Strategy will be coming into play here as long as everybody minds their P's and Q's. We're going to be great. Anderson and Albert battling, looks like here for 6th. Oh, in the grass. Albert breaking out the cheat code. Run along with him for a minute. Two-time winner of the Gears Cup Series this season is Matt Albert. Take a ride on the wild side. bringing you back in now with your new leader, the 28 car of John Cutler, passing Elliott Drummond for the lead. Very well, maybe strategy in play here, but John Cutlip is your leader in that Mobile 1 Ford Mustang. Hear that sound? That's the sound of a nice cold beer. Hopefully you got one too. Let's hang out and have a few. John Cutlip, Elliott Drummond, Mike DeWalt, Jeremy Beal, and Tyler Curley, your top 5 with Matt Albert, Sean Anderson, Justin Van Burrell, Trey Holmes, and Keaton Sawyer, rounding out your top 10. If you are among us this evening, thank you for hanging out. It looks like pit stops are going to take place here. Looks like Huggins is in. A few others. Cutlip's going to stay out. But the person who has moved up the most this evening, as we highlight the 13 of Chris Parkman. In that Monster Energy Chevy Camaro. Inside the top 10 and 9th. Moving along nicely as Parkman. Glad to have him along. But that 91 car now creeping up on him. See what he's got. Keaton Sawyers. Again, 1 week away from the Southern 250, 1 sub away from talking the Southern accent the whole show. Been talk of the town here this week. There's our pole sitter, Justin Venero, roaming around in 7th, yet to pit. Elliott Drummond takes back the lead as I'm talking.
Yellow flag is out.
We have ourselves a yellow flag. Not sure what for. But that is unfortunate. Whoever got caught up in that. Not sure what the deal is as I'm clicking around frantically. Yeah, not sure what was done there. We're going to take it back around. Maybe somebody spun off a pit road and almost was a detriment to the rest of the field. I don't know. Not sure what happened there. Everybody gets back around. It's actually our first unscheduled caution of the evening officially during this race session. So that's good. But again, anybody who is pitted now and already a couple laps into their tire set, they're obviously not going to come in for tires now. Maybe for fuel. Maybe they can extend that window for them. Looks like everybody is coming down. As I'm mentioning that, unless you're a lap down, you're coming down. Even some of those guys who are a lap or two under their strategy, they may stay out as well. But some, as you can see, just getting gas. That is about the nitty gritty of it. Yeah, looks like Drummond is your leader. 56 of 200 in the books. We're nearly 20 laps away from the conclusion of stage 2. Again, got that extra stage in there due to it being 300 miles and a special occasion at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I know a lot of y'all have Talladega circled on your calendar in 2 weeks. I definitely do. I wish I could run that one. It's one of my favorite tracks. I love bump drafting. I love the action that goes with it at the high speed. Charlotte's a great track as well. Big fan of Atlanta. It's growing on me. At first I didn't like it just because, you know, they wanted to make it a mini Daytona or whatever. But I can't really say I hate it. Don't hate it. I just wish drivers on iRacing and public lobbies knew how to drive on that track. It would make it much, much more enjoyable. And appreciate to all the viewers hanging out here tonight, lurking. If you're drivers, family members, friends of drivers, we do appreciate the support and showing your support for your driver. So I get set to have a beverage here. Salute to the troops. Salute to the rest of you out in Fewer. I will comment and say that this race so far has been a lot better than last week's Iowa race. Again, we kind of had that bump at the beginning of the race, but no big deal. You can get over that. We did lose a few in the transfer when we had to create a new lobby here tonight. But casualties do happen. And as the Gears Cup Series, we apologize for that. And I apologize for that. John Cutlip and Elliott Drummond going to lead us off with Trey Holmes and Jeremy Beal. Tyler Curley and Justin Vandermerel. Tyler and Matt Albert and Mike DeWalt. And then Chris Parkman and Keaton Sawyers rounding out your top 10 as they get ready to go back. Green flag racing. Going to be nearly 15 laps from the conclusion of stage 2. Who's going to pull it off? Will Elliott Drummond go for his 9th stage win of the year? Pace car is off. Drummond's going to lead us to the Geico restart zone for the Coca-Cola 300. Let's resume. Get back in gear. Zoom, zoom,
Green
zoom.
flag, green flag, green
Gears
flag.
Cup Series. Holmes giving Beal next to no room down there at the end of the tri-oval, but then gives it up. I don't think some of those cars got back around and gridded up in time, but shit happens when you party naked. Drummond, John Cutlip, Trey Holmes, Justin Vandermerel, Jeremy Beal, your top 5 with Tyler Curley, Mike DeWalt, Matt Albert, Chris Parkman, and Keaton Sawyers. Rounding out your top 10. You're right, Keaton, it does sound like Sawyers, but it's Sawyers. Vandermerel and Beal getting it on. Thought I saw 3 wide there for a moment, but I did not. Single tier. If you're hanging out in the chat, we'd love to hear from you. Looks like DeWalt going to the inside of the 47 of Jeremy Beal for a very Peppa Christmas. He will make that pass and move up into fourth. Another big mover tonight. Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. on the lead lap in 11th, going to look to pass Tyler Curley to bounce in the top 10, a guy who has shown up every week being consistent and made his way into the chase. And a guy that you may think maybe an afterthought, but he's definitely not. Andrew Allen and Fitzpatrick banging doors. Allen thinks smarter of it and drops back down to the bottom. There is Cody Johnson in 12th. And Perrin Huggins weaving his way through traffic like I-94 in a traffic jam, taking it slow. I-95 wherever you live at home. Route 66 for all I care. But Drummond, oh, DeWalt, looks like we panned to the right camera at the right time. DeWalt giving him, I don't know, a love tap? That seems too cliche. How about a fist bump? No, that's wrong. How about a what's up? 3 wide it is for the lead. DeWalt's going to make it. Holmes, DeWalt, and Drummond. 3 wide for the lead, and DeWalt's going to get it. DeWalt first time up here up front, and is going to lead a lap in that Coca-Cola themed Coke 300 car. Beautiful timing by the camera guy, aka myself. Oh, we got action! Matt Albert taken for a spin. And I do believe that's going to bring out a caution. If it does not, the comm system is going to be furious. Let's take a quick look at what happened here on the stream. Going to the inside of Holmes. Gets the pass. Coming out of 2. Gets loose. Oh. Oh!
Yellow flag is out.
And sends him around. And I think the caution's finally going to come out for that. As he got sent. I think he had to save him sideways. And I think if he would have dropped to the bottom, it would have been a big deal. But, that last hit, and I do believe that's by the 91 machine. Yeah, it's got to be by the 91 machine. Let's see the look on his front end. See if we can get a look. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Give him a little taste. All right, as we pace back around, second unscheduled caution of the night. Mike DeWalt is your leader. Good, clean race so far if you're just tuning in. Glad to have you. It's been a decent one so far. And only getting better. Again, the second unscheduled caution of the evening. Again, you got to throw the cautions out there for the stages. But we're going to have a dash at the end for the stages. You see people ducking in and out of pit lane. Strategy is really important at this point. If you're in the playoffs, you're staying out for stage points. Mike DeWalt is one of those people. Cody Johnson is as well. So is Tyler Steiner. Jonathan Militia hanging around the top 10. Good to see that. Give you a blimp shot. Again, if you're having a little beverage, hopefully you are. Enjoying the race on a nice Friday night after working all week. If you're like me, you definitely are not a millionaire and you're hanging out in my channel. I know that we're near the same tax bracket. All jokes aside, happy to have you along. If you do happen to have $1 million handy, though, I could definitely use it. Mike DeWalt, Elliott Drummond, Trey Holmes, John Cutlip, and Keaton Sawyers. Your top 5 Again, I do believe the 91 machine is going to come in, hopefully, to fix that damage. Chris Parkman in 7th here. The biggest mover of the night, 17th spots from where he began. Started in 24th, now up to 7th. He is the mover of the night in the Gears Cup Series. Still no update yet on what we're going to do in the off season. If anything else, I might host something if something does not pan out. But I do believe it will. I'm keeping the faith. Busy week of work for everyone, including myself. If anybody understands it, it could be a frustrating time this time of year. We'll definitely go one more time around. But again, tune in next week. We got the Southern 250 at Darlington and then Talladega the week after. So 2 exciting races as we inch closer of crowning the champion. We know it won't be a repeat this year, so it'll be a new champion that will be crowned. Thinking about doing something special for the champion this year. I have recently come across the wonderful one, I do believe 1x24 scale race cars, relics from the 90s. Might be looking to give away one of those here. Got myself a Tony Stewart, a few Jimmy Spencer Winston cigarettes. Todd Bodine Tabasco, both the green and black and the orange. Got some Ernie Irvin stuff. Dale Earnhardt stuff is mine. Maybe a Jeff Burton car. Michael Waltrip when he drove the 21 Citgo Ford Taurus. Kyle Petty with the Hot Wheels machine. Jeremy Mayfield. A lot of different drivers from that era. Totally cool. Definitely worth going back in time. So again, it's going to be a mad dash for stage 2. Mike DeWalt's going to lead us down with Elliott Drummond, Trey Holmes and John Cutler, row 2, Keaton Sawyers and Cody Johnson, row 3, Chris Parkman and Tyler Steiner, row 4, and Justin Vandermerel, Jonathan Militia, rounding out your top 10. DeWalt, the driver, not the power tool, getting set to restart in the Geico restart zone. Green flag, if you know what I mean. Back at it, 5 to go. Trey Holmes, who started, or was supposed to start in 2nd, now back up into 2nd. Elliott Drummond there trying to do everything he can to split them up. Oh, we got some bumping and banging mid-pack. We're going to keep it right here as we are ever so close to the conclusion of stage 2. No reason to let the doors off the hinges now. Inching ever so closely. Mike DeWalt out in the lead by a car, by 2 or 3 car lengths now. Cody Johnson, you see him in the 08 car coming. In the Flow Racing 08 Chevrolet Camaro, doing everything he can to earn those precious stage points. Look at him go. Passing Elliott Drummond on the outside. And here he comes. Pushing his car to the limit. Again, you get an extra set of tires here tonight. Or a couple, I believe. Because of the longevity of the race. Again, drivers are in the Cup Series because we run roughly half of what the race is. You get half a fuel tank, or half a tank of gas to start the race. Certainly changes things. 1 lap to go. Cody Johnson out in front. Does DeWalt have anything for him? Final time around to finish off stage 2. Walt now to the inside. Again, both in the chase. Johnson, you may not see that purple banner, but he definitely is in the chase. He just doesn't know how to use trading paints, apparently. Maybe he does, but I'm saying that he doesn't for comedical purposes. And coming around the final times, your stage 2 winner is going to be Cody Johnson.
Yellow flag is out.
Cody Johnson snaps the streak and finally takes home a stage win. That is beautiful. Looks like he's unavailable for an interview. Otherwise, I would bring him in. But Cody Johnson winning stage 2 in the Flow Racing 08 Chevrolet Camaro. Again, this would be a good time to hop up, grab something to drink, and get ready for stage 3. Stage 3 will be at the completion of lap 125, so it's going to be 50 laps. And then from there on out, it's going to be a 75 lap chase to the finish. No pun intended. So again, Elliott Drummond winning stage 1, Cody Johnson winning stage 2. As we're going to re-rack and get back. Chris Parkman now 21 spots up into 3rd. Good driving here all night long. Only a few incidences. Really all has been great. All has been good since the restart. Again, if you're just joining us, Elliott Drummond has won stage 1. And Cody Johnson just recently just won stage 2. We got 50 laps to stage 3 to lap 125. Again, this is a good time to get up, grab something to drink, do what you need to do, and reset your batteries as we get set for 50 more laps for another stage. Check the scores of your favorite baseball team or football. Checking the scores myself. And it's still true, you get no hose. Tyler says, well, Tom, I'm disappointed. Bad night for me. Back in 21st. Don't know what happened to you, Tyler. But that is unfortunate. Happy to have you here, but not happy to have you out of the race if that's what that entails. Yeah, it looks like it says you are out. That is going to be hard to make up for there, Tyler. I do apologize for your misfortune. He goes, I don't know, either it gave me a black for repairs and I thought I could make it to the stage end, but still had speed. It wasn't a hazard, unfortunately. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back after this race and check it out. See what happened to you there. Jonathan Militia and Matt Albert looks like is going to be the leaders to start us off going into stage 3. But again, Elliott Drummond winning stage 1. And then Cody Johnson winning stage 2. Which is huge for him. But points are critical at this point. Told me to rub it in, Steiner. I know you're in the chat there, and I just realized now, like, you know, just kind of beating a dead horse as it were. But they're critical. Jonathan Militia driving the most perfect car for him in the Wonder Bread. I wonder how he's been bred. Again, satirical content. Aplenty for me. I hope y'all are along for that ride. Again, Jonathan Militia, Matt Albert leading us down with John Howard and Barrett Huggins. Cody Johnson and Lucas Santos, Chris Parkman and Elliott Drummond, and Mike DeWalt and Trey Holmes rounding out your top 10. We're going to get back to green flag racing momentarily. Again, 125 will be the conclusion of stage 3, and we'll find out who's going to win that. We had 2 different winners here so far tonight. Will there be a third? Again, if you've been hanging out with us, so happy to have you. Pace car is off. Jonathan Militia and Matt Albert side by side.
Green, green, green.
And back to a green with Perrin Huggins right there. Perrin Huggins obviously with the better start. Going to change lanes just past the start-finish line and go to the outside. Jonathan Militia, yeah, that 69 Wonder Bread leading out of 2, but how long? How long? Huggins, Cheddars, 8, inside. Clean pass. And he is going to lead the way. In Huggins, Militia, Albert, Johnson, and Howard, your top 5 with Santos, Drummond, Parkman, DeWalt, and Cutlip. Shout out to one of the bigger movers here of the night, Lucas Santos. Santos started in 20th, now in 7th. Kind of a smushed in front end. Hopefully he can figure that out because it definitely looks like it's hindering a Mike DeWalt to the inside. And we'll stay with him around 1 and 2. Parkman, Cutlip, Beal. Looks like Anderson there as well. Showing you a battle here for 7th on back to about 12th. Huggins now looks like he's got a good half-second lead on 2nd place, which now is Matt Albert, who's taken that spot from Jonathan Militia. Elliott Drummond being patient there in that Miller High Life Lights. Number 2 Ford Mustang. Oh, Howard bouncing off the wall. Gonna lose some spots there. That definitely hurts. Good wherewithal to keep it together, maintain his speed, hits the wall again. Oh, we got action in the back.
Yellow, yellow,
Trey
yellow.
Holmes, Vander Morel, around they go, and let's get a quick rewind on that one. We'll do it in full time here, see what we got. Looks like Curley gets loose. Ooh, hits off of Fuller. Vander Morel, Fitzpatrick. That is unfortunate to see. Now, let's see what happens here with Curley. We'll slow it down again. That if you just oversteer a little bit coming out of 2, you're going to get loose in these next-gen cars. He gets loose. Holmes brakes, does not make contact. Curley bounces off of Fuller and then just taps Holmes at the end. Vander Morel panicking, hitting the brakes, getting hit by Fitzpatrick. Either that or it's netcode. Looks to me that may be netcode, but that is definitely no harm, no foul there. Looks like everybody's going to be fine. But unfortunately, a caution to slow us down. Again, 87 of 200 complete. Stage 3 will conclude at lap 125. Perrin Huggins, Matt Albert, Jonathan Militia, Elliot Truman, and Lucas Santos, your top 5 currently, with Mike DeWalt, John Cutlip, Chris Parkman, Jeremy Beal, and Keaton Sawyers rounding out your top 10. Quick reminder, next week is going to be the Southern 250 at Darlington Raceway, followed by the Allison Brothers Tribute 250 at Talladega. Again, very excited for that. Hope you are too. And this caution, unfortunately, Curley getting loose, collecting a few cars along the way. No real bad damage. Hopefully nobody got towed and able to get a quick fix and out on their way. Good time to get up, grab a drink, and get back at it here with me in just a moment. We are back here. Perrin Huggins and Matt Albert going to lead us off with Jonathan Militia and Elliott Drummond, Mike DeWalt and Lucas Santos, Chris Parkman and John Cutlip, Keaton Sawyers and Jeremy Beal, your top 10. Again, third unscheduled caution here tonight out of the 5, with 2 of them being scheduled for stage breaks. Happy to have you along here with us. You were just listening to Jury. Who's Laughing Now? A great tune, something that I would recommend. Great band to listen to. Perrin Huggins throwing the peace sign to the crowd as he enters the Geico restart zone.
Green's out. Green flag. Green flag.
Hopefully no DUIs tonight. He's going to lead us down to the exit of tri-oval. And if you're familiar with NASCAR this week and people being under the influence, getting pulled over, some drivers indefinitely suspended, some being sued by their former and future team, potential future team, I should say. Buck wild time among the NASCAR ranks. Lap 90 of 200, we crossed into 91. Perrin Huggins, Matt Albert, Elliott Drummond, Jonathan Militia, and Mike DeWalt, your top 5 with Chris Parkman, John Cutlip, Lucas Santos, Jeremy Beal, and Trey Holmes rounding out your top 10. Drivers, I should say, mostly just keeping it together, keeping it clean. With a couple mishaps, but with these next-gen cars, sometimes they'll just get loose on you. There's not much you can do to save it. Control being the name of the game. Perrin Huggins in control, having almost a full second on the rest of the field. As I mentioned before, Elliott Drummond, I think some strategy is coming into play here. He wants to stay fast. I think he really wants to compete up near and be the leader. But in clean air is king, as he says. He's got clean air right now. He really doesn't have the draft of Perrin Huggins. Maybe he does, maybe ever so slightly. He's all got that air all in between. I think fuel strategy is going to come into play tonight. With how clean this race has been, this has been a big upside from Iowa. Ooh, Matt Albert getting a little loose coming out of 2, able to keep her under control. But the big story tonight has been Chris Parkman in the 13 car. Started 24th, up to 7th. Has really put himself in a good position for a great showing in that Monster Energy Chevy Camaro. This field right here, from second all the way until about 10th. Right along with these guys here now. Jonathan Militia, another one to note in the Wonder Bread, 69 in 7th place. Looks like where he began. Firm believer of keeping Christ in Christmas. Just talking trash to be funny. But he is the sponsor of the Road Soda 100 at Road America. Look at this. 4 wide, Militia dropping down to the bottom. Going to pit, probably a good idea at that point, because they are still 3 wide. Oh, Santos in the wall, Holmes and Curley. Curley, Holmes, and Santos. That was buck wild. I'm going to take that again just to see what the hell happened here. Of course, the stupid-ass blimp cam will cut us off from the action that we deserve. Oh, yeah, Curly up into Holmes, Holmes into Santos. Causing that chain reaction. Perrin Huggins, Elliott Drummond, Mike DeWalt, Matt Albert, Jeremy Beal in your top 5. With Chris Parkman, John Cutlip, Tyler Curley, Trey Holmes, and Keaton Sawyers. Running out your top 10. Another big mover tonight is Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. He has started 26, has moved up into 14th. Good mover. Aiden Lunn up 7 spots from 25th into 18th. Maybe I can't do math. It's too late in the evening and I don't care. Perrin Huggins out in front, as he is most of the times he is here. But bad luck has forced him out of a lot of races again. He is your points leader going into tonight. But depending how this plays out, it could be very different towards the end. Huggins, Drummond, DeWalt, Albert, and Beal, your top 5 with Parkman, Cutlip, Curley, Holmes, and Sawyers in your top 10. See, from 3rd to about 8th place here. We'll watch these drivers battle. Sorry, I had a brain lapse there. Early onset dementia. Curley pushing his luck on Cutlip and Albert. Technically, we are halfway home. Again, to all the viewers hanging out, thank you for lurking and twerking. If you're a driver watching yourself, you are the most vain person in the league. Look at yourself in the mirror. Hopefully you go to sleep pleasantly this evening. Again, all joking aside, comically speaking, Beal all over the back bumper of DeWalt. But backs off immensely, allowing Cutlip to go to the inside. I do like the tri-oval here at Charlotte more than I like the tri-oval Atlanta. Atlanta is so sharp. Somebody doesn't know how to take that turn. He has taken you and them with him. It's a group crash right there. Huggins and Drummond out on their own islands. DeWalt holding off the herd for 3rd. You see Cutlip there, Beal, Parkman, Curley, Holmes. These two, let's take it to these two. Curley and Holmes have been battling all night long. Is it a friendly battle or a tense battle? I'm not sure. We're going to stay here. Looks like Curley is getting run up on by Holmes. Holmes trying to thread the needle, make it 3 wide. He's going to do it. Oh, and Holmes sent Curley back into the infield like I thought that would happen. Curley comes up, saves himself, but hits the wall anyway. Oh, mama. How did I know something was going to happen there? Man, I should get an Oscar for my frickin' camera work. Proverbially raising the roof, you have Huggins, Drummond, Cutlip, DeWalt, and Beal, your top 5 with Trey Holmes, Chris Parkman, Tyler Curley, Keaton Sawyers, and Justin Vandermeer rounding out your top 10. Huggins, as you can see, he's got a 2-second gap on Elliott Drummond. Elliott Drummond has a 1.1 second gap on 3rd place driver John Cutlip, who has a 0.5 second gap on Mike DeWalt. Again, this field has spread out a little bit. Cream rising to the top, as I usually say. Love Randy Savage for that. Oh, looks like we have Huggins taking the pit lane. All right, maybe he needs to change his depends. Who knows, but he is hitting the pits. And Ellie Drummond is your leader. I was going to say Huggies, but that's just not funny. Drummond, Cutlip to Wall, Holmes, and Beal. Your top 5 now. Changes things a little bit. Again, closing in on 15 laps to go to the conclusion of stage 3. Stage points are precious. Mike DeWalt is in that conversation right now. The only other person even in shouting distance that are supposed to be in the points is Sean Anderson and Cody Johnson, Lucas Reed, and Aiden Lund, all running consecutively between 11th and 14th. As we will see pit cycles here now. I'm eager to see how this pit strategy will play out, so I hope it stays green. But you see Drummond and Cutlips, nose to tail to the tri-oval, going into one Cutlip, diving down to the bottom. Mobile 1 having fun. Oh, Drummond just snags the wall on the outside there. Those Ford Mustangs putting on a show. Those fans for real, they would be easily pleased. Like me and a nice piece of cheese. I'm full of it tonight, guys. And yeah. Side by side. Cutlip looked a little loose. Lund getting out of the way. Classy move by a young driver. But it's going to be 3 wide. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my gosh. Gersplooge. Lund doing the right thing, but maintaining his speed. You can't really hate on him for holding his ground there. But he did drop to the bottom to let them pass on the outside. He was a little bit slower. There was I would not be mad about that. It's racing. That will happen. Drummond, Cutlip to Walt, Holmes, and Parkman. Your top 5, Beal, Curley, Vanderburel, Sawyers, and Howard, rounding out your top 10. And the Cat think it's okay to try to get on the street. Coming up, 10 laps to go here shortly. The question is, now that Drummond is pit, how long Cutlip, Holmes, and DeWalt can hang on? Roughly a 1.3 seconds back. Fitzpatrick going a lap down. Looks like Mobile 1's pulling off. So is everybody else. What does that mean? Justin Vandermeer's what it means. Your pole sitter back out in front. Yep, Wisconsinite with the cheese. Howard is going to make a move. I'm hoping so. Howard rolling around in second right now. Up 15 spots from where he started at 17th. Honey Badger, have a drink on me, my man. And I will indulge in that with you as well. Cheers. Howard is your leader. John Howard making moves on the track, not with dudes. But does he have enough to make it the rest of the way to 125? Short answer, I believe, is probably not. But leading laps is huge. I really like John Howard. I like a lot of the drivers in our league, respectively, but John Howard's one of those guys who shows up every week and he gives it his best. You got to respect it. Out in the lead now. Getting started 17th, up into first, putting down some laps. You have Howard, Anderson, Cody Johnson, Lucas Reed, Perrin Huggins in your top 5. John Cutlip, Trey Holmes, Chris Parkman, Hayden Lund, and Matt Albert rounding out your top 10. Again, we're going to keep the camera on Howard just to see how far he's going to take it. Coming up on 6 laps to go. Either his crew chief's in my chat, or that person knows something I don't. Fruity Pebbles all the way, though. One of my favorite cereals growing up as a kid in the 90s. Gotta have that Fred Flintstone on the box. That nice 2% milk. Oh, DeWalt. Walt getting his lap back, making it McNasty. Albert looking to do the same. Not sure, maybe Howard going in this time by. Could it be? Yes, it is. I mean, Sean Anderson is going to be your leader. Unless he pits as well. Looks like he is not. Anderson and Johnson. 1 and 2. Anderson and Johnson, veterans of the Gears Cup Series, has been here since the console days. I say that like it's so long ago, feels so long ago. But Sean Anderson, one of my favorites back on the console days. And Cody Johnson, a guy who just simply dominated NASCAR Heat 5. Johnson looking to make back-to-back stage victories. Sean Anderson just trying to get one in a while. I joke about that BuildSubmarines.com Ford Mustang with the Ocean Gate reference, which is an unfortunate tragedy and something that could have been easily avoidable. But what you do with your money is your business. I could give a shit. 2 laps to go now. The battle is going to be between Anderson and Johnson. The 2 most basic names in the United States going at it for stage 3 victory. And I mean last names, not first names. Maybe first names, I don't know. Sean Anderson and Cody Johnson battling it out. Lucas Reed, Perrin Huggins, and John Cutlip in your top 5. Trey Holmes, Chris Parkman, Tyler Curley, Matt Albert, and Elliott Drummond rounding out your top 10. We have 1 lap to go. Anderson has created about a car and a half. Whoa, looks like Lund going a lap down. But dare I say it, Sean Anderson ever so closely inching towards a stage 3 victory. Will it be? Could it be? It is Sean Anderson, your stage 3 winner here in the Coke 300 for the Gears Cup Series.
Yellow flag is out.
wish I could get an interview with that gentleman. Let me see if I can. Looks like he is not here. But I have someone who is. Looks like Black Sheep has redeemed the Loose and Loud segment. I don't know if I saw that too late. We'll start that up here going into stage 3. But Michael Menchaca looks like he missed the race, but I have him here. Michael, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. I do have a copy.
Yeah, I am sorry to hear of your plight, my man. Not getting in the race as far as it goes. I know you probably prepared for it, but overall the race hasn't been bad. Would you agree?
Oh, this has been a great race. I mean, these guys are all running fast, running different lines. That's the interesting part about this track is everybody tries to take a different line and get ahead of each other and, you know, whip around. And it's always exciting. I mean, you can always count on some position changes in this race. And that's what I like about Charlotte. I mean, everybody's got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't really it's a challenging track in its own right, but I think over time, with the popularity of the track, such as Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's a track that people can really adjust to. It's not so hard where the average driver can't come in and adjust to it, but it's really those who have put in the time and the effort and the practice to really bring out the fast laps that you see here tonight. Michael, I am so sorry that you didn't make it with your 32 car. You're one of my fan favorites. I know some people have mentioned you in the chat as well as one of their favorites. Wish you could have been in this one, bud.
Hey, I really appreciate it. And you know, I don't want to blame it on you guys because my internet's been going out. I've tried to hook up to my hotspot on my phone, so
Yeah.
it could have been my fault, man. It kept kicking me out, so it's probably my deal. But
It
man,
happens.
I love this race. It does. It happens. But you know, the cool thing about Charlotte is that you got so many different things that come into this race, especially with this long of a race, because tire wear is key.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
if you got a couple of guys burning their tires up see it, you're going to get behind. And that's the good part about this race, is strategy really comes into play here. And that's what's exciting about the end of this race.
I'm happy that we actually get to see that. You know, with Iowa last week, it kind of made me kind of stutter coming to the booth here tonight, just because of how crazy that race was. But tonight has really been a night and day difference as far as race quality. So for the Coke 300, guys have really brought their stuff and has created a great race with long green flag runs. I'm excited for the conclusion of this race.
Oh, me too. Absolutely, man. This is you don't know. I mean, look, Howard made a run. Howard was there. You don't know who's going to be there.
Right.
It's exciting. It really is. It really is.
Yeah, and as long as you're here, and I don't know how long you've been in my chat, but I just noticed that you were here. So happy to have you. We'll keep you here for the rest of the race. If you're interested, we'll hang out.
Absolutely. No, I just got in. You're on it. You're quick. 30 seconds. You were there.
Damn. All right. Well, hey. That attests to my wife's greatly made moonshine, apple pie moonshine, I might add. Keeping me in tippy-top shape tonight. I will mention that I was an eagle eye on the chat. We've got about 2 laps before we get back to green flag racing. Sean Anderson is still currently your leader. A lot of these guys that you see in front of him, looks like DeWalt and Nate Fuller, looks like they're going to get a wave around when we get back to getting back to double file restart. And Michael, I got to pick your brain here. How long have you been racing iRacing right now?
Started the end of January, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Buddy of mine, Kenneth Gallman, he got me into it. He'd been racing for a while, and he said, you got to try it. You got to do it.
Now, did you come from console, or where did you come from?
Yeah, Xbox.
Okay.
Yes, Xbox. So, I wasn't ready to invest in a wheel unless I really thought I was going to do it, because, everything on the console isn't as skilled as iRacing. It doesn't require... It's an arcade.
Well, sure,
Xbox.
absolutely.
Pretty much everything
I would
you do.
agree. Yeah.
So, I said, okay, and I looked at everything. It's got everything I love about racing. at NASCAR especially. So I got on there and I'm like, I'm not going to make a commitment. And I actually did it for, I don't know, about 3 months with my Xbox controller.
Wow. I tried it and I could not keep it together for the life of me.
It took what I would call discipline. My left thumb became that of a kung fu master. Let me say that. I could drill it through a wall. It was it was interesting. My hand would hurt for sure. But hey, I got with you guys. Got some of your recruitment races.
Yeah.
Really good time in there. Running Talladega, Daytona, whatever you guys want to run, and it's always a good time. And I started doing well, even with my controller, because I was able to barely keep it together. And I said, all right, I want to get in the league. You guys invited me because I did okay in some of those races, and got my wheel. And man, ever since then, it's just getting better every week.
Fantastic.
Better every time.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to get back to green flag racing here, Jimmy. Just one moment.
Great.
We'll get back to your conversation here because I definitely want to know what wheel you use. Sean Anderson and Cody Johnson leading us off in row 1 with Lucas Santos and Lucas Reed in row 2. Both the biggest movers of the night besides Chris Parkman. Sean Anderson going back at a restart zone. Kablamo. We are gone and back at it. Everybody so far so good, clean coming out the jump. 3 wide between Santos, Reed, and Cutlip. And Chaka, give me just one moment. We'll get back to you with a little bit more of an interview. Looks like Huggins and, oh, Jesus.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
We have a yellow flag, and that got real quick. Curly got sent up in the wall, so we'll check that out in just a moment. Lucas Reed on the receiving end of this one. Huggins tapped him, goes below the blue line. Both of them did. Reed couldn't keep it together. Takes Holmes, Albert. Oh, and Curly paid the worst price. I don't know if you're seeing that there now, Menchaca, but that was a wild ride to say the least.
Wow. Yeah. He almost held it together.
That's really all you can say. He almost held it together. I know Reed is a very talented driver. He is good. He got loose coming out of the 2. We're talking here, looking on the back stretch. He was able to keep it straight for just a second, gets to the left, and then just points himself straight at the wall, taking Holmes. Curly narrowly avoids it, collects Albert. Militia gets involved in that. Curly gets a little too wild, hits the inside backstretch wall going into 3, and then points his car straight to God as he goes in and hits the Charlotte 3 sign into turn 3, collecting Jason Vandermerel, and that is unfortunate for these guys. Sean Anderson, your leader.
Yeah, looking at that, he was in a lot of dirty air coming around there, and I know it can in that spot specifically, it can. If you got a lot of cars around you, it can make you shake a little bit.
It does get a little sketchy. It does get a little sketchy there. Yeah, so as soon as the restart's going, looks like Black Sheep MCSE has requested a loose and loud. And we got to give that to that person. So hopefully they'll get restarted. Again, while we've got a minute, Menchaca, what kind of wheel do you have? What did you end up picking up?
I was not going to make a huge commitment until I knew I was going to love it. And G923,
okay,
same as the 920. It's for right now. It works great. I'm looking to step up, if I can, just because I love it so much. But it works great. I mean, nothing. You don't need anything more. Nothing more.
Yeah, myself personally, I drive a G920 just because I don't have room for like a whole rig, like with those butt kickers and the whole seat and the whole 9 yards. Yeah. But I do have the 3 screens, which makes it cool where I can see my whole dashboard right to left, so I'm not using the directional to see if I can look left and right. So I love that.
That is my next upgrade, more so than the wheel. The left to right, just that awareness is key. It really is.
It is. It definitely is. Sean Anderson, Cody Johnson, Lucas Santos, John Cutlip, and Chris Parkman, your top 5. Parent Huggins, Jeremy Beal, Jonathan Militia, Elliott Drummond, and Trey Holmes rounding out your top 10. Again, the usual suspects here, sans Chris Parkman. Chris Parkman has really put up a show tonight. Here, the biggest mover of the night so far and counting. Again, started 24th. He has now worked his way up into the top 5 and continues to roll. And I mean, looking at it tonight, you know, it is playoff driver oriented. Sean Anderson, a playoff contender. Cody Johnson as well. Both playoff guys in the chase, 1 and 2. But Chris Parkman has really just put the field on notice.
He really has. I think he's kind of conserving some tire. You know, you didn't see him really stepping up in the early part of the race, just making a ton of moves. Consistency, I think. And, you know, staying out of trouble in this race is a big deal.
It's huge. It's huge. And I think you got to give your hats off to Chris for a job well done and staying out of trouble. Lucas Santos, the second biggest mover. We had him on the pre-race show up in the 3rd right now. 17 spots from where he started was in 20th. So hats off to all these drivers making the commitment here.
Yeah. Good luck beating that Fast Charger trophy there, guys. That's 17 spots, so good luck.
Yeah, I mean, they really know how to drive Charlotte. Again, as I mentioned before, it is one of those tracks that you get for free when you sign up for iRacing. And Chaka, as you know, it's kind of a money pit at times, but a great hobby to get into and a good community as we've been going along.
Yeah, all I can say is, you know, try to join a league, try to join any kind of community you can on Discord, you know, especially Gears. You know, look into our recruitment races. We get into a lot of different things, but, you know, everybody likes Talladega. So come on in, draft a little bit, have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, we try not to be too serious, but anything you can do to get out of being so serious about it and trying to race with some guys that take it a little bit more serious as, hey, something matters. Let's work together. Let's get a team going. Let's get to know each other.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of people that work together, and that's where you go fast. That's the key.
Exactly. I mean, you're raising the bar here when you enter the Gears Cup Series. Again, we're not super serial as some other series may be, but we're definitely serious enough to keep it competitive. Sean Anderson, Cody Johnson, yet again going to lead us off for this restart. Pace car soon to be off, coming out of 4 here. Geico restart zone is going to be Sean Anderson leading us off. And bada bing, bada boom.
Green flag, green flag.
We are gone. Anderson, the Ocean Gate. I mean, BuildSubmarines.com, 14 Ford Mustang. Taking charge. And once we get established here, oh, looks like Santos! Oh my gosh.
Yellow flag is out.
Oh my gosh.
What a run. What a run. Here we go. Oh.
Yeah, it got bad real quick. Reviewing that now, let's take a look. Santos getting a good run out of 2. Connects, looks like with Militia, and then throws himself into the wall. Definitely not on purpose, for sure. I kind of figured the caution bump would come. I was hoping it would go way later in the race. So that is unfortunate. We'll watch it back one more time in slow-mo so you guys can see. J. Cole writes, 24 got what he deserved after wrecking me. I would save that for incident submission. Not with that here. We're here to have fun. Talk about the race. If you want to take that to submission, please do so. Yeah, Santos just getting loose. Oh, hits the right or left rear of Beal, taking Reed with him. Santos going around. Oh, and look who's that down there. Is that Drummond? Oh, no. Drummond getting sent to Mars as he hits that inside divot, looks like, and then back on the outside and just eats the wall. And some guy's just hitting the wall out of panic. Looks like that was Aiden Lunn in the 3. By golly, Miss Molly.
Boy, this could have a real impact here on the points.
This one is huge. I would agree. I would agree. Again, next
Let's
week
see
it's
where
not
it
going to
takes
get
us.
any easier. It's going to be Darlington Raceway for the Southern 250. That race, I mean, if you're not used to Darlington, I think we'll probably put up a practice for that. That's a tough
Just
track.
get ready to get gritty. You
Yeah.
know, that's
Yeah.
all. It's
Really,
You
I
know?
mean, for real. Like, you know, Darlington stripes are typical, so I would expect that on the right side of every single car that races at Darlington. But the
Yep.
track in and of itself is unique. It's hard as hell to drive. I've taken a few laps in a next-gen car, and it's just so difficult. You know, I do appreciate and respect anyone that can drive at least 10 clean laps around that in a row. I haven't seen many people do that, but definitely I know that somebody in this league can. And we're going to find out next week. So Southern 250 is going to be at Darlington, and 2 weeks from tonight will be Talladega Super Speedway for the Allison Brothers tribute. I am so excited for that. Was a huge Davey Allison fan as a child, as well as Dale Earnhardt. So to tribute to both those guys, both those drivers, Allison Brothers, I should say, means a lot, especially to me, and I know to the rest of the racing community. So ready for Talladega in 2 weeks from tonight.
absolute legends. If you don't like Davey Allison, then you don't like racing. There's nothing that man didn't do that you just got to see it. If you don't know, then you need to know. That's all I got to say about it.
It's like Alan
I can't
Kowicki.
explain the accomplishment. Oh, yes. It's, you know, everybody knows the big names, but the guys, the legends behind the Allisons, you know, everybody, Bill Elliott got the fastest lap, but what did Bill Elliott and those guys do to advance NASCAR? That's the great thing about the sport.
Yeah.
The stories behind it, how it's grown and gotten to where it's at. And those guys are key in that.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big Davey Allison fan, Dale Earnhardt. But what really touched me was Kenny Irwin when he passed away in early 2000s. I thought he was one of those up-and-coming drivers that was a force to be reckoned with. And then I think it was at Martinsville that he passed away at, which was kind of bizarre in of itself, with the brakes just not working properly for him. And definitely a bummer because he was one of those drivers that I was really into before I navigated away from racing for a while.
It'll do that. Yeah.
That'll do it.
That'll do that.
Big thing,
well,
big
you know,
thing for me. Claim to fame. My father worked on Dick Trickle's car back in the '80s, which was pretty cool. Dick Trickle. I mean, that's a name in and of itself, but working on his car is a whole different thing. And I don't know if anybody's really familiar with Dick Trickle. Tragically ended his life after his wife passing away. But a guy who never won but smoked cigarettes in his car openly, and a guy who just with the real American spirit for the time. Sean Anderson.
You can guarantee the Coke 300, he'd have a half a pack in that car.
For sure, man. Sean Anderson and Cody Johnson going to lead us off again. John Cutlett, Perrin Huggins, row 2. Jonathan Militia, Trey Holmes, row 3. Chris Parkman and Mike DeWalt, row 4. And Justin Vandermeer and Lucas Santos rounding out your top 5. Again, this is becoming a battle of pitch strategy. Have a little bump here in cautions, a little uptick. But hopefully that has all gone away. In the Build Submarines car, 14 Ford Mustang, Sean Anderson is going to lead us down as the pace car heads off to pit lane. Geico Restart Zone is green and hot
Green flag,
for Green Flag Racing, and we are off like a herd of turtles. The 8s giving each other a bump. Huggins to Cody Johnson. 2 by 2, they go into 1 and 2. Johnson getting a hell of a run and will take over the lead. Again, 141 of 200 in the bag. Recruitment race to follow. But Cody Johnson, John Cutlett, Perrin Huggins, Sean Anderson, Trey Holmes, your top 5 with Mike DeWalt, Jonathan Militia, Chris Parkman, Justin Vandermeer, and Nathan Fuller rounding out your top 10. Side by side is Cutlip and Johnson for the lead. Huggins trying to insert himself into the situation. Can't win it on this lap. Yeah, it has been a battle. Trey Holmes creeping up right now.
Look at this. Boy, I tell you, they're pushing hard. It might go 3 wide here. Just watch this. They all want it. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah,
somebody's going to push it.
Looking at it right now, you're looking at about 5 or 6 drivers that are currently in the chase in that top 10, battling for position right now. Again, less than 60 laps to go before the end of this race, so you can't win it right now. Pit strategy, I would assume, would play more into my mind. But again, out on the track, intense situation, shit happens. Cutlip, now your leader, yet again.
I 100% agree with you. This is a track of attrition with tire wear.
Exactly.
If you can have a great strategy, especially a race this long, if you can have a good strategy by the end of this race, you can come out on top. These guys get an ego involved, though, as you know, to lead a few laps.
For sure.
It gets exciting. It gets really, because you can see them here. Look at them kind of cut inside, a little block there. It gets good. It really gets good. These guys, they care about the laps. It's a stat they care about.
And that is a perfect segue. We're going to go into loose and loud segment that Black Sheep had requested a few minutes ago. We're going to get him going on that right now. Black Sheep, I'm pouring a drink for you, my man. Salute, and let's get into loose and loud. Brought to you by Twitch.tv. All right, hopefully that loose and loud was long enough and sweet enough as we've been able to remain green as 161 laps of 200 are in the books. Perrin Huggins, Jonathan Militia, Trey Holmes, Nate Fuller, and Mike DeWalt, your top 5. Justin Vanderwerel, Chris Parkman, Keaton Sawyers, Cody Johnson, and Sean Anderson rounding out your top 10 as you've been watching for the last few laps. Battle between second on back to about 7th. And sitting here chit-chatting with Michael Menchaca, talking about the race here tonight. Race quality has really has stepped up their game here at Chase Race 4 of 10.
Yeah, these guys here, they're really showing their grit. When you get in these later races, not only in the later season, you get these guys improving that have just joined the league, like myself, but you know, every year, every race, everybody gets better, and it's showing. You got a few guys always up there. They're obviously in the chase right now. They're always up there, but look behind them a little bit. Some of these guys are creeping up. It's exciting. A race like this that requires a lot of strategy and the long laps, it really shows who's going to make it and who's really thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, Michael, we're talking 2024 for some of these guys, but Trey Holmes is a person who I hope hangs on after the season, sticks around here in 2024. That Trey is always up near the front. Chris Parkman, again, in 4th place right now, 20 spots from where he began, showing that Charlotte is one of his better tracks. Happy to have the 13 car here. Justin Vanderwerel, one of those people that I really look forward to seeing in the future. Nathan Fuller making his first full-time season with us here, as I've known him from other leagues. A very talented driver with great skills. Cody Johnson coming back after making the crossover from console. We have a lot of good talent here to look forward to. Trey Holmes, speaking of taking over the lead. Again, you see Elliott Drummond there in front, but he's 18th and a lap down.
How many position changes do you think we've had tonight? It's been a lot.
As far as the lead goes, at least about 8.
One moves up 17 places, one moves up 20. This is pretty exciting. It's a lot to look at. You see these guys a lot of them are running this low line, but to save these tires, depending on where they're at, you're going to see a little different strategy out of some of these guys. I think moving up.
You gotta believe it.
I kind of feel like some of these guys, the way that they're drafting, they're trying to save a little bit of fuel. Looks like they're kind of settled. Oh, here we go. Now they're starting to make some moves, guys. I feel like here they're going to start to get in the gritty.
We are getting down into the thick of it. 167 of 200 complete. Trey Holmes out in front. He's the Elliott Drummond there, but he's rolling around in 18th and a lap down, which is unfortunate.
You said it, 167. This is about a 30-lap max of what you can get if you're really running good. Your window is 25 to 30 laps on this, so we're going to see some interesting changes over the next few laps on a pit strategy here.
You gotta think, with Trey Holmes having Elliott Drummond in front of him, that's got to be a godsend, because now he can kind of conserve a little bit and maybe draw out a few more laps more than what he thought of in the beginning of this run. So that very well may be playing or catering into Trey Holmes again. Trey Holmes, we've talked about being in front, has been able to stay up there a little bit, but then he kind of fades off. So seeing Trey lead some laps, get out in front, stay out front. He's got Perrin Huggins breathing down his neck, as well as Mike DeWalt. But definitely cool to see the Napa Auto Parts 9 Chevy Camaro out front.
You've said it. These two guys are competitors. Racing against both of these guys. If they want to get by you, they're going to get by you, and they're going to stay by you. So this is going to be really interesting how all this plays out. But you said it with the drafting here. What can happen is, you look at this pack, it's a little spread out. So which one of these guys are getting a little bit better fuel mileage here? Which ones aren't? Which ones are pulling? Which ones have damage? I mean, it's going to be really interesting when we get down to this lap 170, 175. They're going to have to hit. So, you know, who these guys are out by themselves, can they hang out an extra lap and try to get ahead? It's going to be really interesting. I like this race here. This is good. Good stuff. Oh, we got some people pitting.
Yeah, it looks like Huggins has entered pit lane as well as a bunch of others. Aiden Lund is going to pull up into second, 23 spots from where he began. But again, not pitting as of yet. So Trey Holmes, and I do believe what I mentioned before, just kind of riding the coattails of Elliott Drummond, maybe able to get an extra lap or two is, yeah, he is going to pit now. Aiden Lund going into 3 right now, going to be the leader inherently. Unless he pulls off the pit lane, he will be your leader.
Now, this is what I love about NASCAR.
Lap let.
Wow, that's great. Look at that. Strategy, get you a lap led, get you a point. These kind of races here at Charlotte and the Coke, whether it's the 600 or 300, it's still a long race. You know, it
definitely
matter.
Is, yeah.
But the strategy always plays into this. And if you've got green flag stops, you got yellow flag stops, who knows what's going to happen? So you still have to think about it. You got to know where you're going to end up. And this is interesting because did anybody take tires? You know, and I know on this track myself, your left tires are just as important as your right on this track.
Yeah, absolutely. All 4 mean everything here, especially in the closing stages. Coming close to 25 laps to go. If you're just joining us, I'm joined by the number 32 car, Michael Menchaca. Kind of missed the restart here as we had to reboot due to iRacing and its technical issues. Joining me in the booth here from stage 3 onward. Again, thank you for joining me tonight. With long green flag runs, it's always nice to have somebody else in the booth. John Cutlip here is your leader. Perrin Huggins in second. Lucas Reed third. Actually, Chris Parkman. Trey Holmes in fourth. Mike DeWalt in fifth. Lucas Reed in sixth. Cody Johnson in seventh. Lucas Vandermerel in eighth. And I don't even know why I'm talking. They're pit cycling right now.
I mean, how do you make sense of this right now until they get out there, you know, get 15 laps to go? Who's going to come out, win? This is the part I love about this long Charlotte race is you can run first, 120 laps. Yeah, but what did you do to get there? You know, these guys are going to have better tire wear. You're going to have some fuel left. What are you doing here? This is great. What's interesting to me is how many of these drivers have their own spotters. How many are by themselves? You know, that's what's key in a lot of this. You know, how many of these guys are just doing it on their own? That's the cool thing about this.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people that I work with in an admin capacity, I do know most of them don't have spotters, so they rely either on the iRacing crew chief or on whatever modded crew chief that they have. I don't know if that's a thing or not. I know there's a program called Crew Chief out there that helps people. I know none of our team has that. But I know that is a usable feature to help people out. I heard that's like a premium paid thing. I don't know. I've never looked into it. John Cutlip putting Aiden Lund a lap down. He did lead a lap shortly, not too long ago. But Cutlip having a 7-second lead over first.
Aiden doesn't like him passing him, you can tell. They're going to make a move, you can tell.
Well, Lund, you know, he's in 5th place in points. He's put up a hell of a run. I know that he's a young guy, so varsity football is going to be an issue here pretty soon going into the fall months. So he's going to try to make the best of it here and see what happens. But currently running 5th in points for the chase.
This is very interesting. Watch these 2 different lines. Aiden Lund's taking that high line. That can be a fast line. It really can. You can see him getting a couple of car links on him right there. He's getting right up on him. If he maintains that, he can maintain his tires. Yep, here he goes. Here he goes.
Yeah, and it looks like Cutlip is going to pit coming out of 4.
Okay.
Huggins is going to assume the lead. and take it back over. So the Cheddar's 8 Chevy Camaro taking the lead back. As we have 22 laps to go for the Coke 300. Who's going to win? Is it going to be Perrin Huggins? Is it going to be the biggest mover of the night, Chris Parkman? Or is it be Trey Holmes, who's led a few laps tonight? Mike DeWalt second in points. They're right in the chase. Cody Johnson hanging around there in 5th. About a second behind him is Justin Vandermeer. Jonathan Militia another 3 seconds back with Nate Fuller, Sean Anderson, and Keaton Sawyers in your top 10. So we're going to focus up here to Perrin Huggins, putting a lap on Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., who's running around at 13th. As we cross the line, it'll be 20 to go.
Here we go. This is where it's going to get very, very interesting. Who's got tire wear? Who's got plenty of fuel? Looks like everybody's got fuel. Yeah, I don't see anybody pitting in. I don't see anybody making a strategy right now to get in on the inside. Looking like, I think this is all going to be, I tell you what, though, Perrin Huggins, you know, we talk about strategy, but from the beginning to the end, he's always been up there. He always has. And if he can keep this lead, it's going to be tough to catch him.
Well, you got to think, though, like, is he going to have to pit again? That is my question. Is tire conservation? I think you can make it on tires, but I'm not sure if you can make it on gas.
I do not know when Perrin Huggins last pitted for fuel. If I had that stat in front of me, I would let you know. But this is interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely
he was
going
hanging out there a while.
Yeah, he's got almost a 2-second lead on Chris Parkman. So we're going to focus on the position between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They're close together. Perrin Huggins out to a good lead with 18 laps to go. Again, Parkman, the biggest mover of the night, 22 spots from where he began.
Oh, my goodness.
Battling with Trey Holmes.
Spots.
22 spots. He started 24th up into 2nd. Parkman showing that, again, Charlotte Motor Speedway is a strong suit for him. A very strong track.
We're going to have to check the year's archives to see if this is a record.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is, but I do know it's very impressive and has caught my attention. Trey Holmes now all over the back bumper, looking to take 2nd over. Is he going to make a move now? He's going to give it a little bit of time. Again, we have 17 laps to go. No need to rush it.
You got to wonder how many of these guys are trying to conserve. You know, are they concerned about a green-white checker at the end? You know, do they only have a lap left to the end of it? So, you know, is he trying to conserve a little bit of fuel? We don't know.
That is going to be, I do believe if it stays green the rest of the way, fuel will be a factor. I can almost guarantee fuel will be a factor.
Absolutely. We are not seeing enough people get fuel right now. So there is definitely some strategy going on here. Some guys are getting a little bit antsy about their position and do not want to give it up.
Looking now live in 5th place, Cody Johnson with Justin Vandermeer about 2 lap cars away from him. Holding it down for a top 5, and that is huge for Johnson in the 08 car. Mike DeWalt in the 20, riding around behind Trey Holmes and Chris Parkman. He's probably going to watch them battle it out.
You know, you cannot count DeWalt out. He's such a consistent driver. You know he's got control over his tire wear. He's probably just sitting back watching these guys, going to see what's going to happen, keep that draft in there and make his move. I see, yep, he's creeping closer now. Check him out.
Yeah, I think he's going to start to turn it on here pretty soon if he's got anything left for these guys. Obviously, Perrin Huggins, I think, is using all of his stuff and then hoping at the end that he's got enough time racked up where it's not going to matter.
I absolutely agree. I agree with you.
I'm not going to articulate that. I'm just going to be straight out. That's definitely what I think is happening.
He's full send right now, you know. Yeah, you got to hand it to him, you know.
Absolutely. Perrin Huggins is your leader with Trey Holmes, Chris Parkman, Mike DeWalt, and Cody Johnson, your top 5. Justin Vandermerel, Nathan Fuller, Sean Anderson, Jonathan Militia, and Keaton Sawyers rounding out your top 10. Sawyers, got to give him a shout out in the 91 Bass Pro Shops Tracker Toyota Camry. That 91 car looking fantastic. Getting a top 10, that's important.
That is good looking paint right there. But he's been very consistent. He's a great driver. He knows his lines. I kind of think he's trying to catch some air if he could, and he would definitely make a move knowing him. But he's going to stay in that top 10, be consistent as always. These guys that are up in this top 10, they're looking to make moves. I mean, everything matters right here. I mean,
Sure.
all these guys in the front top 5 are going to battle this out. Man, this is exciting here.
Next time by is going to be 10 laps to go. Perrin Huggins going to lead us down. Can Perrin Huggins snap his cold streak? Is he able to pull it off? Again, he's got 2 wins on the year. The first being, if I can see this right, Dover International Speedway was his win number 1. Or excuse me, Auto Club. Auto Club was win number now. Jimmy Johnson Tribute 200. And then win number 2 was back, looks like at Bristol Motor Speedway for Brandon's Brittle on June 9th. So June 9th was the last win that he has earned. Can he bring it home with 9 laps to go?
I think he can. On that last lap, if you noticed, he really straightened it out, slowed it down a little bit, hugged that wall, and held a straight line. I think he's cooling his tires off, ready to make that final run.
I would definitely believe it as we are inching closer to the end. Again, Perrin Huggins out to a comfortable almost 2.5 second lead. And shortly after the race, we'll do a brief post-race show with interviews, hopefully with the winner and the podium drivers, and maybe a random one. I don't know at this point. Huggins going to the inside of Santos, put him a lap down as he passed Cutlip as well. Trey Holmes, 2.5 seconds back from the leaders. He's really trying to turn it on. Mike DeWalt, Chris Parkman going to battle it out for third. This may be the race to watch as we have 7 laps to go.
I agree. These two guys have been battling out for the last few laps here. You know they've been sizing each other up. There's no doubt about it. The guy behind thinks he's got cooler tires, and he's got, oh, here we go. They're going to take a different line. Here we go.
Yeah, they're going to press each other a little bit. Coming across start and finish line with 6 laps to go. DeWalt trying to hold down that 3rd spot, and that's huge because Perrin Huggins is in the lead. He wins tonight. That's going to extend his lead ever so much more, but making up as much ground as he can. Starting at 10th now in 3rd is Mike DeWalt with that Coca-Cola 20 Toyota Camry.
I tell you right now, Tom, if he's going to make a move, he better make it here in the next few laps. DeWalt is going to block him and keep his line like he is right now. If he doesn't make a move soon, I don't think he can get past him.
And the big thing to watch is back in 5th. Cody Johnson has been slowly creeping up into our frame. Can he make a push for a top 3, maybe grab a podium spot? I think grabbing a 2nd or 1st place for Mike is out of the window, out of the picture, realm of possibilities right now. As 2.3 seconds separates Perrin Huggins and Trey Holmes with 4 to go. But Mike DeWalt, as long as he keeps things okay, he should outlast Cody Johnson. Looking like making a late push on the outside as we enter the start-finish line with 3 laps to go.
It looks like DeWalt saved a little bit of tires here for the end push just in case something happened because he is taking off right now. He's very comfortable where he's at, and nobody's got a chance to catch him. But look behind him. Look at that little battle behind him.
Yeah, Chris Parkman has really fallen off, and Matt Albert has been glued to Cody Johnson pretty much the last 10 laps. Johnson trying to make a run at the wall. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Between
yes, this is going to be good.
As we'll keep it right here for the moment. 2 laps to go.
Interesting. If they get enough draft here, they could catch the Walt and make it a 3 wide, which would be fantastic.
Now, Matt Albert, not much to play for here as he's already a lap or 2 down, but trying to make the best of it here, riding around with Cody Johnson. Final lap as we cross the start-finish line now for Perrin Huggins as we move our direction back to him. Win number 3, again, last win he had.
You can't catch him. Look at that.
He is off and away with 2 seconds nearly on the rest of the field. Coming down the backstretch into turn 3 goes Huggins and the Cheddars. 8 Chevrolet Camaro, red, white, and blue. Hold it true. Your Coke 300 winner is Perrin Huggins. Light bulbs flash. And here you have it. Perrin Huggins wins the Coke 300 and win number 3 on the season, playoff win number 1. Again, special guest Michael Menchaca of the 32 car joining me tonight. Thank you for joining us. Happy to have you on the show. Hopefully next week you'll be able to make the race. And again, a pleasure to have you on here joining me tonight.
Tell you what, Horse Boat, I do appreciate you having me here. It's been an honor, and it's been a great race. You know, watching Perrin Huggins, absolutely, he just dominated. I mean, 2 seconds behind. I will absolutely hand the guys behind him. Perrin Huggins ran an absolute hot lap, but they kept up at least 2 seconds behind him.
Sure.
That's all I can say right now, because they didn't go any further behind. And they were hanging with him, but he had some magic. I don't know what he's got, but he's fast. And
yeah,
I appreciate you having me on. It's a great race.
No, not a problem, Michael. And that is Michael Menchaca of the 32 car again. Hopefully we got you ready for next week. We're getting set for post-race show and interviews here on the Horseboat Network on Twitch.tv. Hang out as we will be back in just a moment.
track position because I knew I had the top 3 car at least, and it worked out and stuck me up there. And dude, it's a big relief. I've had an awful luck in
Yeah.
the last like 6 or 7 races. It's been miserable.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of races, I believe, this season that you should have won, and then for one reason or another, it just didn't work out. At the end there, you took over the race, and you never looked back. Again, one of those things where I always am grateful to see you out front and see you dominate. Congratulations, win number 3, and couldn't have been better timing. Congratulations, Perrin. Is there anybody you want to give a shout-out or a thank you to?
Yeah, shout out to my bud Cody Johnson. He also raced, and he helped me out with that saving gas call because I suck at saving gas. So yeah, thank you, Cody.
That's awesome. I mean, congratulations again. Win number 3, and again, a win at a perfect time. Thank you so much. Looks like, again, somebody else to join us here tonight is Mike DeWalt in the 20 car, finishing in 3rd with a great showing here tonight in the Coca-Cola car, which looked, I'll admit, really, really slick. Mike, give us a brief description on here how your night went.
Well, that was a long evening, Ray, for Coca-Cola here at 10 o'clock Central, but
yeah.
Sponsor. That was a really cool race, to be honest. Like, that was a lot of fun. That was about what I expected it would be, kind of a typical Coke 600 type race, as they did in real life. But on that last, on those last stops under green, I mean, I was running behind Perrin like a second back before pit stops, and he pitted a lap or 2 before I did. But that was kind of the difference, and then he obviously pulled away. But he got on and off pit road better than I did, stretched it out to about a second and a half, and they pulled away. So congrats to him. He had a really good car. After he got his stuff figured out, after he used his fast repair, he was a really fast car. And then there was some interesting strategy, especially fuel strategy, with some of the leaders that I was kind of scratching my head about. But overall, great race for me. Got a lot of stage points, and he did too, but kind of neck and neck with him. Just kind of unfortunate that he was the only car I really didn't beat on points today, and I really need to. So happy for him, happy that he won, but definitely wish we could have caught a little bit more on points there.
Well, you definitely proved where you stood tonight. You had a good long run. Just some of these other guys just have shown up. I'm excited for 2024. I don't know how about you, but you got your days numbered as far as being in the top 10. These guys are coming.
I agree. Tonight was a nice showing for me. I haven't had a podium in God knows how long. So really good race, really proud of it. I had some really good speed tonight. Charlotte's one of my best tracks, I feel like. Not the best on saving tires, but there was a lot of short runs mixed in, especially with stages, and it kind of went the right way. And then one of the things that was kind of interesting and really lucky on my part was in the last stage, there was a green flag pit stop. I think it was probably the second to last one or something. And I ran out of fuel coming to pit road, and that was fine because I got to my box. But I slid forward too much, tried to put it in reverse. I didn't have any gas. So I literally had to tow, which took like 20 seconds on pit road, went a lap down, and then fortunately I took the wave around on the stage end, and then a caution came out really quickly. It was like one of the big wrecks at the end. So I got back on the lead lap in fresh tires. So that changed my race completely. So really fortunate to get a top 3, especially with Perrin winning.
Yeah, I mean, I was mentioning during the broadcast that, you two being up front and Perrin being, the 2 spots ahead, that's a difference maker here. Congratulations to you finishing in 3rd. I know you probably hope better. You had a really fast car all night long. Is there anybody you want to give a thanks or a shout out to?
Just shout out to all the guys. I mean, there was a really good racing tonight. Everyone did a really good job. I had some really good battles, especially towards the top end of the top 10. So Just thanks for everybody for being here. We had a good field, especially with some technical difficulties at the start. But looking forward to the rest of the playoffs or the rest of the chase, and then obviously onwards to Darlington here next week. That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, Southern 250 next up here for the Gears Cup Series at Darlington Raceway, and then the Allison Brothers Tribute at Talladega, which I am freaking stoked for. Again,
that'll be fun.
Recruitment race yet to follow that is Mike DeWalt in the 20 Coca-Cola Machine Toyota Camry tonight, finishing third. Perrin Huggins wins the Coke 300 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. For Mike DeWalt, Perrin Huggins, I am Tom Torrey, a.k.a. The Horseboat, wishing you a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, only here on the Casa de la Horseboat. Again, have a great evening and a safe weekend yet ahead.